Hello, hi, and welcome to Meaningful Mondays with me, Rashmi Shetty, a space where I share my life lessons. And today's life lesson is based on Peter Stroppel's quote: Legacy is not something that you leave for people, it's something that you leave in people. And my masterclass happened over the last weekend, the 15th, 16th, and 17th of January 2021. Three phenomenal days that I'll remember in a long, long time. And the connection with these 3 days goes way back to 1978. My best friend in my class then was Meera. One day she came up to me and she said, "You know what, Rashmi? My dad takes Gita classes. Will you join?" I had no clue what Gita was. But the very fact that I get to spend evenings with my best friend, I jumped at the idea and I said yes. And from then on started a phenomenal life journey, a part of my life which hugely influenced me to become who I am today, where my journey with my Sanskrit guru, Mr. P.S. Ramamurthy, who I lovingly call Uncle, started. A man who loved Sanskrit and gave his entire life for the cause of this language. An integral part of the Egmore Sanskrit School, teaching of the Bhagavad Gita was what he did. And all of this, and all Sanskrit texts, and the language itself, and all of this he did without charging a fee. His love for the language was so huge that each one of his students slowly became so regular because, as a teacher, he was phenomenal. Secondly, his sense of humor was so typical Uncle that anyone who knows him will know that when it comes to Uncle's teaching methodology, it was very interesting. He was a strict disciplinarian too, very particular about the homework that he gave us and making sure we follow that. Another very important part of how he led his life was the value he gave time. Punctuality was expected of each one of his students. All of this got imbibed to being who we are today, and we owe a lot to this legend we call P.S. Ramamurthy. A phenomenon, a man who has left a trail of what teaching is all about. The next 10 years, till I was about 18 years old, I volunteered, participated in competitions, and Sanskrit was an integral part of whatever I did. But post that, life had very many different plans. Was in touch on and off, but all other callings of life took me away from Chennai, the city that I grew up and shaped me to. In the last 5 years, things altered for me and for the school. Uncle left this mortal world about 5 years ago, and the reins were completely taken over by Meera and Narayanan, who continued to assist him as long as he was there and completely took over 5 years ago. Competitions happened in Egmore Sanskrit School while Uncle was there, and even post that in the month of January, where students from all over Chennai and maybe cities in and around like Bangalore and around would travel to Chennai to take part. And in the last 5 years plus, I have gone back to volunteering there and been an integral part of the weekend competitions. This year, however, when the pandemic struck, everyone wondered what will happen to the competition. Obviously, like everything else, the competitions also moved virtual. And when it moved virtually, the entire team at Egmore Sanskrit School, all full of volunteers, stepped up as well. Over the years, with Egmore Sanskrit School, along with the student force, what kept the complete working of the school on was this band of dedicated volunteers who dedicated their lives and their time during the time of the competition, right from planning to execution to the actual day when it had to get on the ground, completely to the cause of spreading this beautiful language and the Gita competitions. When this moved to the virtual platform, the word spread. And this year, the last 3 days was when this contest happened. 2,300 people globally registered, and volunteers too ended up becoming global volunteers. Wherever people who lost touch wanted to get back in touch, did so and came back into volunteering, bringing in a lot more of their friends who were tech savvy and could help in maneuvering this entire virtual experience. Being part of the 3 days that happened, I didn't realize the impact of it. But today, when I look back on the 3 days and how the 3 days went seamlessly one contest into the other, I only paused to wonder wherever Uncle is, he definitely must be smiling today. And were he here mortally, he would have been a very proud man. And at that point, I asked myself what it takes to become this kind of a legend. It takes a lot, definitely. And the commitment to the cause is what leads a person ahead. Uncle gave his entire life and time to Sanskrit. Whether it is speaking the language or teaching the language, the Gita, and any other literature to Sanskrit. And all this he did without charging a penny. And this commitment to the cause has made each one of us who have met him directly or indirectly through his students admire his entire purpose of life. And the legacy that he's left in each one of us is proof when you meet us or with the 3 days that just passed. This also left me with a question that what am I leaving behind? How can I make my life that much more meaningful? Questions that I am pondering about. Have you given it a thought? Well, if you have, I'd love to know. Stay safe, stay blessed.